morning. So my name's Teresa. I'm the owner of New Forest Sewing Studio here in Langley in Hampshire. So we do a sew along each month, and for the month of September, a little behind, but we will get it done. We're going to do a sew along for the pattern by Anna Allen, which is the Helene selvage jeans. Okay, so that, and we're going to use our 14 ounce, it calls for a heavyweight denim, so this is our 14 ounce heavyweight denim. It's a gorgeous dark indigo colour, so yeah, so that's what we're using for our pattern this month. So I'll do the video in two parts because it's a jeans pattern, so there's quite a lot involved in the pattern and the construction of it. So the first part will be all about the front part of the jeans, the pockets, the zipper fly, because I'm going to choose to do the zipper fly. You can do it button fly, zipper fly. So it'll all be about the front parts and also the just the making up of the back pockets, because I tend to put some design on the back pockets, and I'll show you how to do that. And then the second part will be the construction of the back pieces to the welt, and attaching the back pockets, and then fixing the jeans together, doing all the inside leg seams, the outside leg seams, the waistband and the belt loops. Okay, see you soon. To a button fly in my jeans. So first of all, it wants us to take the what they call the underlap piece. So this is this piece. I'll show you the pattern piece there. So it wants us to take this piece first, and then with the right sides together. Oh, my tailor's tacked out the way. Right sides together like that, and then it just wants us to sew along that lower edge. Okay, so I'm just going to put a pin in there, and then I'll narrow it, put the camera down so you can see a bit better in a minute, but I don't want to do it while you're watching because you might feel a bit seasick. So we're going to sew along there, okay, press it out the right way, and then overlock, neaten down that long edge once it's pressed in the right way. So I'll show you when I've done that. Also on the jeans, I'll have to narrow it down now actually, bear with me. Sorry, so I had to narrow it down now so you can see what I'm talking about. So the next part, you need to get both your fronts of your jeans. This is the right front and this is the left front, and then it wants you to, you've got a little extension piece on the front here. Just where I've marked it on that one, because that one's the one I've got to trim off. So this little extension piece on the front that you'll have on both when you cut it out, but you need to remove it off the left hand side. So it's just 3/8 of an inch up, which I've drawn in, and then I just need to trim that up. So I'm going to do that next, without taking that tailor's tack out. And just trim up there. Like so. So I don't want that bit, it can go. And then it just wants us to neaten these edges. Okay, so we're going to do both, neaten those both of edges, sew this one, and then I'll come back and show you where we're going next. All right. So we've stitched this piece along that seam, turned it all in the right way, and then overlocked down that edge. We've overlocked around the edges of the front fly area of the jeans. And the other thing we had to do was to overlock around the edge of the interface. So you should have interfaced this piece as well, which is the zipper fly facing. Okay, so that bit's interfaced and then stitched around the curved edge to neaten that curved edge. Then next we're going to fix the this fly facing to the left front of the jeans. So that's notch will line up with your notch down there, which is fine. Right in there actually, and then, oops. Okay, and then it wants you to stitch that in place down there. Okay, and then press that open. You need to notch into where that is, which I can show you when we've done. So then it wants you to press that open and then press it to the wrong side and then top stitch down the edge along there. So I'll go and stitch this, press it open, round to the wrong side and top stitch down there, show you where we cut the notch, and then I'll be back. So we've press that over and top stitch down that side there. Okay, so that piece is stitched on and then folded over to there, top stitch down there. Now it's difficult to see because it's gone a bit thready, but you just snip into there so that your seam can then, your seam can still come over that way. So you can see, I should be better on the picture actually. Yeah, so that your seam there sits flat. This is folded over to the other side, but your seam allowance is still folding flat over. So you've just snipped into that little edge there. Okay. So next it wants us to put the zip onto the right front. So zip wise it says all different lengths. So it said for my size it said 7 1/4 inch zip. So I've gone with a 7 inch zip to save me having to take lots of teeth out basically. Otherwise you can shorten down the zip and take the teeth out, but I think I'll get away with a 7 inch zip, so I'm going to do it that way. So I want to place the zip onto the front there, and we want to pin that in place. Oops, let's just get it over to the edge. And you're just following the edge of the zipper tape down the side of your front fly piece on your jeans. So just down to there. Okay, so it wants you to use a zipper foot and stitch that in place down there. So I'll get down so far and then I'll move the, raise the foot, move the zipper up, then I can just get a bit further down to the bottom here. So it just wants you to go down to the stopper at the bottom of your zip. And then after that we need to put the this piece over the top. But I'll show you first on there, I think, to make it clearer for you. Yeah, and then I can show you how we're going to stitch it, because we're going to put that on top. Once we've stitched that at 3/8 of an inch seam allowance using the zipper foot, then we're going to pin that on, and then we're going to turn it over and stitch it again, attaching that but using our previous stitching as a guide. Okay, so I'll do that first and then I will show you pinning that on, I think, to make it a bit clearer. Okay, so I'll just quickly sew that with the zipper foot. Okay, so we've stitched that on. Okay, we've stitched that down to that right front there. So what we're going to do next is join, there he is, join our underflap, they call it, underlap actually, onto there. So I'm just going to grab a pin. A couple on that side, because then I'm going to want to move them over to the other side. So I'll just position it where it wants to be. Turn it over. And then I'm going to want on that side, because we're going to need to stitch it from this side, because we want to stitch following our previous line of stitching, which I'll see if I can show you close up. So just pin this in place. Zipper stops in the way. So it wants us to stitch, we pin that in place, okay, over the top of the zip, okay, and then we need to stitch down here, okay, following our previous 3/8 of an inch stitching just there, okay, so we need to stitch down from this side as we did, but just following that stitching as a guide, okay. So once I've done that, then we need to, I need to press it open, like so, okay, like that, and then top stitch, give it a press, and then top stitch down the edge. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back and we can show you where we go next. Okay. So the weather's atrocious here now. It's just gone really stormy, so marvellous. Right, so we've sewn that in place, okay, top stitched that over, and now we're going to join the two legs together with this little crotch seam. So we just want to join together here. Just put a pin there, matching up the notches. And then okay, so that's just joining up the crotch seam along there. Okay, so I'm going to stitch that in place, and then I think we fix the and then we fix the other side. So I'm just going to stitch that quickly first, and then I'll be back. Okay, so we've sewn that, okay, so next we've sewn the seam, under seam there, okay, so next we want to attach the zip to the left side. So it wants you to, well, it says to lay it like that, but I prefer to lay it like that so that I know I've got this overlapped, because it needs you to overlap the front, this fly extension, by the other one by about 3/8 of an inch. Okay, so I've overlapped that down there. It needs you to pin your underlap bit out of the way, okay, so that you can see what you're doing, and then overlap 3/8 of an inch this fly bit over to there, and then it wants you to position your zip to your fly facing here, and pin that in place. So just to the fly facing, not to the front of your jeans. So we're going to stitch that in place, and then it recommends doing a second row of stitching just to reinforce it. So I'm going to do that, and then we need to mark on where the base stitch, where the top stitching is going to go around this outside bit of the fly. Okay, so I'll stitch that first, and then I'll show you how we'll mark it out and baste it. Okay, so we've stitched that, oh hang on, let me show you. We've stitched that zip just to the fly facing bit there. Then it wants you to make sure you've got that all sat flat. Make sure it's flat on the front. Keep your under flat bit pinned out the way. Make sure that's sat flat. Fold it. no, that's fine. And then I decided I'm going to hand tack this just because my stitching, my blue stitching, if I did it on my blue machine to do a basting stitch, it's just not going to show. So I'm just going to hand tack where I'm going to top stitch in a minute. So just to the edge of here. Just want to hold it in place. And I'm just going to stitch just inside where that facing is. So I can show you close up in a minute. I'll just do this. I'm trying to do it so that you can see, so I'm a bit backhanded. Straight. And in a minute we're going to follow these basting stitches to top stitch around to keep the fly piece in place. And then you do another row of top stitching just inside that quarter inch, I think, just inside that. Yeah. It's usually the right amount. Stitch in there to keep that in place, and then I'll show you how we're going to use this. Sorry, taking a bit longer than I thought. Right, okay. So we can take those ones out, but leave your pins in that are keeping that shield bit out of the way, fly shield out of the way. So then when you turn it over, you can see roughly where you're going to stitch. We can check that that's straight. Looking for scissors. Can't find the scissors. Okay, so let's just cut that off. There. Okay, so let's just see how straight we are on that. So that's about 3.5. 3.5 if I go just inside, 3.5, yeah. So I'm going to stitch round, top stitch round, using those basting stitches just inside those basting stitches, because I basted it just around the edge of that fly facing there. Okay, so then when you turn it over, I can see there where I'm going to need to stitch to catch that underneath. So I'm going to stitch just inside that, around to here, and then do a second row of stitching around to there, and then I think yeah, and then we want to top stitch the crotch seam, so we'll do that. And then that'll probably be it for today. Okay, and I'll have to carry on tomorrow. All right, so I'll top stitch down there and then do a second row round to there, and then I'm going to top stitch the crotch seam as well. Just up to here slightly is where it says, and then I'll show you what we've done. Okay. Okay, so that's the top stitching round done, and I did do a bar tack there and a little one there, although it's not very neat there, but that'll be fine. And so that's my working zip. Okay, so yeah, so I'm quite pleased with that. Next we're going to do the pockets. So we'll do the front pockets, and it also wants you to sort of do the back pockets ready, so we'll do that tomorrow. Yeah, put them all in place. So yeah, okay, see you tomorrow. So good morning. Next we're going to do the all the pocket placements. So we did the zip yesterday, so this morning we're going to do the pocket placements. So first of all, it wants you to get your coin pocket and your 2 back piece pockets, and then fold over 1/2 inch along the top edge, another 1/2 inch again, and then top stitch 2 rows along the top. That look like that. Okay, and then turn under all your edges, so down the sides and along the bottom by 1/2 inch. And that's on both those pockets. And then your coin pocket, just this one here, you just turn it over by 3/8 inch and then another 3/8 inch. Press that, just 1 row of top stitch in, and then turn under all the edges down the sides and on the bottom. And also the pocket lining pieces, it wants you to fold along your fold line on the pattern piece, which is here. It wants you to fold a line along that line. So I just did a little notch at the top and a notch at the bottom, so it was easy to find where that line was and fold it. So it just wants you to fold those right sides together like that. Okay. So then I wanted to put a design feature on my pocket, like so. So I'll show you how I did that. So let's get the other pocket. So just open it out. It's easier with the pressed edges, just fold it out. And then you want to make sure, because mine's shape like that, so it's not symmetrical, so I need to make sure that I get the other one opposite to that one. So that one I did up that way with the tracing paper, and this one I'm going to turn over to make sure I've got it opposite. So I'm going to line up along the top like I did before. I'm going to put some carbon paper underneath, so carbon paper with the yellow side down. Do it that way a bit more. Like that. Okay, so the yellow side down towards the fabric, and then put my template over the top like so. Line it up along the top and the bottom piece there, and then you literally just go over with a tracing wheel and just pin that in place, otherwise I've got my hands in the way and you can't see what I'm doing. Let me just pin that on. I want it to stay straight. Okay, so then you just go over with your tracing wheel along like so. Two straight lines, and I'll do this 1/3 line. Like that, and then these two. It's nice to put a design pocket on there, just makes it more individual, more your own, I think. It's a bit of a feature to your jeans. You could do it in different colours, you know, you could do it, I've just done it in my top stitch in thread, but if you really wanted to, you could do it in a metallic thread, you could do all sorts. Put Then when you take that off, and then you've got your carbon, just about to see that, you've got your carbon printed onto your pocket, and then you literally just stitch around, top stitch around over those. So I'll do that other one in a minute, and that's what it comes out like there. So I'll do the other one to that in a moment on the side. So let's go up to onto the other front pockets now. So we've folded that and pressed that. Right, so then we need to get these pieces, which are these are like what they call your right pocket bearer. All different names, aren't they? You'll notice on some of my patterns I've cut a extra amount at the side seam because I just want to have that for fitting. This is my toil really for my jeans. I haven't made these ones before, so I just wanted to allow that little bit at the edge to allow for a bit of fitting. I know I need to grade up from my hip to my waist, so it just gives me the opportunity to do that. So I've marked in, I've just put in a couple of tailor's tacks, marking the coin placement along the top there. So I just marked those, tailor's tack in each of those little circles, just to mark where the coin pocket's going to go. But we only want it on one side, and I can't remember which side. I think it's the right, isn't it? Yeah. Pocket placement on right pocket bearer, which is this one. I don't need this one, so let's take those out. I'll put it on the wrong one. I'm literally going to pin that on. That's in the right place. Some good sized pins, some strong pins for this, because it is, as I say, 14-ounce denim, but it's a lovely weight denim. There we are, let's pin that on. So we'll set it up flat. Pin it on at the bottom. I'll show you in a minute so you can see a bit clearer. Oops, if I haven't folded over the edge. Pocket bearer. Turn under. That side and that side. So then it wants us to press under along that side and also down that side. Oh, so it doesn't want us to put that on yet. Let's take that off. Getting ahead of myself. Okay, so it wants us to turn under. That only wants us to mark the placement. Turn under there and then under there. Okay, so I need to go and press those. I need to do that on both sides, and then we're going to attach it to our pocket lining. Wrong side. So that's that one. Okay. And then we're going to attach it to there. Okay, so I just know to go and press under those edges. So press under along there and down the bottom of there, and then I need to stitch it. Pin it to place pocket there on wrong side of pocket bag lining. And then I need to stitch along these edges to fix that in place. So I'll go and do that now. I need to do that on both sides anyway, although that one will only, this one will have the pocket, coin pocket, that one won't, but I'm going to go and do that for both sides, and then we'll fix the coin pocket on. Okay, so we've sewn both, we've pressed under the edges of those pocket bearer pieces, which is this piece here. Okay, so we've pressed under effectively that edge and that edge, and then stitched that to there. So it wants you to stitch down 1/8 of an inch distance from the edge, so nice and close to the edge, down there and along there, and just 1/4 of an inch seam allowance up there and along the top, just to hold that in place, so that's secure to the there. So it looks like that from that side and that from that side, and I've done that with both sides, both pocket pieces. Okay, and you're stitching it to the wrong side of your fabric, so that then when your pocket is closed like that, from the inside of your jeans, you'll just be able to see your fabric, which is a bit of fun to be able to see. So now we need to join the coin pocket on. So using these tailor's tacks that I put in, as I did before, I'm going to join that, line that up to there, pin that in place. I need a bigger pin. A bit bigger. That one there. That's a little pin. You always find a little pin when you want a bigger pin. You always find a big pin when you want a little pin. So I'm going to put that on there like so. That corner. Just make sure it's flat. It's a bit taut. There we go. Pin that in place, and then it wants you to stitch. It's a little unusual. It wants you to stitch a nice bit of decoration, really. It wants you to stitch. I'm going to take those tailor's tacks out now, because otherwise they're going to get stitched in and in the way. Take those out. So it wants you to stitch from the top waistband bit down along there. I'll show you on this one. Don't do it closer up. So it wants you to stitch from the waistband here down along that edge, all around the edges of your pocket, coin pocket, then across the top there, and then down and around up the other side and up to the waistband. So it shows it on here, as on the picture there. Okay, so I'm gonna do that, and then we can join the pocket pieces to the front piece of the trousers. Okay, so I'll go and stitch this first. I think to stitch it, I might just do a chalk mark or something up there, just to make sure I go straight. So I'll mark that in first. Yeah, and I'll stitch that on, and then we'll be back to fix them to the front of the trousers. So that's the coin pocket sewn on. So next it wants us to fix them to the front, to the jeans. So with the wrong side of your pocket lining, which has got the pocket bearer and coin pocket on, it wants you to place that to the right side of your jeans, at the front of your jeans, and line up that pocket area along there. Okay, so we're lining up that along there with the wrong side there. Okay, and we can do the same with the other side. She says just needs to get that way round. Let's get it in the right direction. So we'll pin at the top there. I've got a little notch here as well to line up on the edge of your pocket. Oh, my little dog wants to come in. Oh, Molly. A little face looking at me at the door. So we're going to stitch that in place, okay, and then I probably need to top stitch it. Jeans, top it back to underside of jeans, folding up pocket openings, yeah, top stitch it. So it wants us to stitch that, press it all over to the wrong side of the jeans, and then top stitch around that around the seam where we've just stitched. So I'll show you when I've done that. Okay, so we've stitched those, turned it over to the wrong side, and then top stitched around the pocket edge. Now when you turn your lining over to the wrong side, ideally you want to make sure that you can just see a little bit of your denim running around the edge. That way you know that your lining is well tucked into that side, and then you don't see any of your lining you know, through popping over from the edge of there. So that's those top stitched in place. So next it wants us to French seam our pockets. So right sides together. It's a nice idea that they're French seamed in here rather than just overlocked. So right sides together, like so, with your fabric. So along that bottom edge, and also the curve of the pocket along here. So let me just get that lined up. Oh, that's a big pin. So I'll do that on both pockets. So it wants us to sew 1/4 inch, best to show you this, 1/4 inch seam allowance along the bottom edge there, and around that curved bit of that pocket edge there, okay? So it wants me to sew 1/4 inch, and then I'm going to turn it in the other way, and then sew pin and stitch bottom element, press, yeah, and then I'll turn it in and then stitch the other side as a French seam. So 1/4 inch there, I'm going to trim it down and then stitch again over in the right way. Okay, so I'll do those on both my pockets, and then it's just attaching it, lining it up with the seam along the top folded over, which I can't show you at the moment because I've got them in the wrong way, but we'll French seam those and then I'll show you. So that's the pocket bags sewn, okay, so excuse me, so sew them initially that way round, trim the seams down to 1/8 inch, so they're all nicely hemmed in there, and so there's no open seams on the outside. You've got a nice French seam going around. So that's those. Then you just need to baste these along at the top edge and the side seam. Excuse me, get some water. Stuck in my throat, I think. So I'll do it from this side, might be easier for you to see. Oh, I'm tickling my throat. Right, so along this folded edge bit of your pocket, fold that there, and then put it so that it's flat. Top jean pocket edge. down my throat. And again at this bottom edge there. Now you will see on your you will see that you think, oh, that doesn't, you've got a slight difference there, that it doesn't quite line up, but that's so that you allow some ease in your pocket here to put your hands in and out, because it's a rigid denim. Excuse me. So just align that up to the edge, like so. Okay, so then you've got it like that, and you've got a little bit of ease in your pocket area there to undo. So let's do the other one. So again, along the folded edge, find that little snip you put in the top to mark that folded edge of your pocket, and then pin that in place. Make sure it's all sat flat, and then pin that again. Oh, I've run out. Oh no, one pin then. Run out of pins. Let's grab some more pins. Again, pin that bottom bit there. And then again, just pull that over to align that up at the top there. Okay, so that's your jeans pockets pinned in place. Okay, so that's from the right side and that is from the wrong side. Okay, so we're going to stitch those, baste those in place along there, along the top and down the sides, and then next we can do the yoke on the back and put the back pockets on. That's the bit I like the best, the back pockets. So yeah, I will baste those in place, and then we'll come back and do the back pockets, the yoke pieces on the back pockets. So that's the front of the jeans, all basted down those side seams and along the top. So that's the front of the jeans completed. So we'll carry on with the backs of the jeans. I'm going to do a part 2 of a video for that, otherwise it will be too long a video all in one. So that this will be part 1, but I'll the backs of the jeans will be done in part 2.